Hello, K-Render Studio is back. Today's videos is 5 tips to render better. Don't forget that we saved the best for last. So watch to the end of the video. Let's start. 1. Pay attention to scale. To render better and more realistically, you should be careful about the scale of each object in the images. The fact that we know the size of an object is that we compare its size with surrounding objects or compare the main components of the object with each other. There are actually a lot of artists who are rendering the wrong scale, wrong size of objects in 3D space on the computer, which leads to the viewer seeing things are not right. For artists who do not have a basic knowledge of architectural design, it is difficult for them to grasp many of the dimensional standards about the basic dimensions of the items in the building. Mastering this architecture is very important because in the basic design drawing, the document that the architect transferred to the 3D artist will not show all the dimensions. Having to interpolate dimensions together to draw correctly has now become a must-have skill for any architectural and interior perspective painter. Let me give you an example of bronze scale. Look at this picture. The modeling scale is wrong. If we compare the correlation, we will see the height of the TV shelf from 300 mm to 500 mm, but we are seeing the height of the long sofa is equal to the height of the TV shelf. So the conclusion is that the sofa is also 500 mm high and thus cannot be seated. The standard size for this type of sofa is 500 to 900 mm high. Therefore, we see the long sofa is too small compared to the overall space. 2. Use advanced materials. There are a lot of materials. Each of them has their own features. Water, transparent or may contain impurities or color. When looking through water, changing the angle of view will produce different images. The image of refraction, seeing through, and reflection, light hitting the surface of the water and then being reflected, will change depending on the depth of the water, the color of the water, and the movement of the water. Glass, transparent, see-through. The see-through image will take on the color of the glass. The reflected light of the side glass is sharp. Each material will have distinct characteristics, so the information that our eyes continue to receive is also different. We call it the quantity of the material. Understanding the digital reality of the material will help us to describe it most accurately in the visualization software. In addition, we also need to understand the use of adjustment in visualization software to be able to create materials with the highest accuracy. Look at this picture. Above is an example of a rendering picture which doesn't render realistically, especially the water. 2. Be careful with lighting. In order for the human eye to see the space around us, we need light. The way light reaches the space around us will create the feeling of the space itself. Therefore, light is the most important factor to be able to have a beautiful appearance. To depict realistic lighting into computer visualization software, they must ensure two factors: correct and beautiful. Correct factor. Visualization is the most simulation of a real environment into a computer to create a work that is as close to reality as possible. 3D rendering artists need to delve into the nature of light, which we thought that we knew well, but in fact is not. With its powerful set of customizable tools, visualization software allows us users to innovate and correct all lighting parameters such as brightness, color, temperature. So, if we don't understand the nature of light, it's easy to misalign to create art spaces. For example, with a room with a large and open door, the setting is a sunny day, then surely the main light will have to be outdoor ambient light and fill the room space, no matter how many lights we turn on. Beauty factor. Once we get the lighting right, the rest is to describe the decorative lights in a way that depicts the spirit of that space. For example, return to the example of a room with large door. If it is an early morning, we can see the light shining through a large angle and spilling into the room, creating a sense of peace and quiet. It's the same space, but with the sunset sky, we can see the lighting turning blue with a red tint filling the room. At this time, some yellow lights such as street lights, decorative table lamps are turned on, up and bring a different feeling. This is an example of a room with large glass door. Light is not clear, there's no highlight, leading to a flat and no depth room. This is illustrated with standard light. In the distance, this is a meeting room with large glass doors, so the main light is natural light, but the main space of the photo is a lobby space with decorative lighting. The transition between far, near, decorative, and natural light gives the photo a scene of elegance and seriousness. This belongs to a project of 𝐒-𝐬 Studio. 4. Pay attention to camera angle. To do this stage well, it is imperative that the performer has practical photography skills. The parameters for the camera in the visualization software have the same parameters as that of a regular mechanical camera. Depending on the pre-created lighting conditions, the position of light source relative to the camera, and we must adjust the parameters of the camera accordingly to create an image with good light quality. In addition, the camera angle is also very important. The use of photographic compositions to highlight the subject you want to portray so that the photo has a subject, it is a must. With the very powerful tools, visualization software allows us to place camera positions at angles not possible in reality. For example, when we want to take a panoramic shot of a small room, we can stand away from the wall outside the room, then remove the wall and take a photo. This is very beneficial in some cases, but it should not be overused, because such photos only help us to see things in space, not help us feel the spirit of space. Sometimes because of the long distance and the use of focal length lens, white will distort the image and spatial objects will be out of balance. This photo is an example of the camera angle with a large focal length leads to a distorted image of the sofa. An example of another way of handling the camera angle of 𝐒-𝐬 Studio will show all the objects in space but without distortion. 5. Enhancing your own aesthetics. 3D render is like art, and the 3D rendering duo is an artist. You have to be really sophisticated, careful, meticulous, artistic to render better and realistically. Enhancing your own aesthetics is one of the best ways to make your work stand out and make you unique. To enhance your aesthetics, you can reading more architectural magazines, newspapers, updating architectural news, and practice makes perfect. So don't forget to subscribe to 𝐒-𝐬 Studio to update news and learn more skills about rendering. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you next time.